And welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this evening. Picking up the fan. Don't think so, just turn it down a little bit. Anyway, there's lots of Celtic news to talk about tonight and some crazy headlines. Some bizarre headlines actually from, and I'm going to say it, Celtic fan media. Some of the headlines out there are crazy tonight. But I think the big one, before we talk about the Cameron Carter-Vickers, is fair play to Cy Tierney. Cy managed to get the interview that I think there's a lot of Celtic websites, and I saw a lot of Celtic sites would have loved to have got. Me, myself, I would have loved to have got this interview with Neil Lennon. It was obviously recorded a few weeks back. It looks like it was recorded the week after we lost the cup final, but fair play to him. It's an hour long, an hour and 47 minutes, nearly 2 hours interview with Neil Lennon, talking about his time as a player, talking about that game, talking about the shame game. Now I was at that game, and I'm going to talk about that first. I think it's important that we talk about that game first of all. And for the reason being is it was classed by the Scottish Government as a shame game due to the fact that there was a lot of bookings that game, and because Neil Lennon kicked off with Ali McCoist on the touchline. I think there was two or three arrests maximum. There was no crowd trouble, but the fans were made to pay. We were made to pay after that game. Police got heavy-handed, and looking back on it, and Neil Lennon coming out and saying that he didn't, he basically took the hump that week because there was no pictures of him in the paper. He's trying to make it all about him, and I think the game will, for me, will always be remembered as what the fuck. It wasn't that bad a game. Fan trouble wasn't that bad, but the repercussions for not only Celtic fans, but fans all over Scottish football, because the government at the time decided to bring in a football task force. Police Scotland decided to bring in a specific task force to look at football fans, the focus team. And this channel, you can go back and look at early Green Brigade videos from this channel, because this channel documented what really went on from a stand's perception. I videoed undercover coppers in the ground. I videoed meetings within the back end of Celtic Park when a game was going on between hierarchical police and undercover police at the time, and all that shouldn't be forgotten about. And I think that Neil Lennon coming out and saying that, he didn't want to be getting the better of, and he flipped. People lost jobs because of what Lennon and McCoist did that day. People got banned from football for a long time. The police acted in a way that football fans, it was a free-for-all. And some of the headlines and some of the Celtic's media reporting of it is quite laughable, to be honest. Completely laughable. Only because I witnessed it, and only because I've got the video evidence. I mean, I can go onto the channel just now and pick up some of the older videos, and that's the only reason that I feel that I have a right to talk about it, because I was there, I was in and about it. Do you know, it wasn't the fucking. It was a nightmare time. oldest. Going back 12 years. Green Brigade, February 16th, 2013, when the Green Brigade walked out of Celtic Park. February 16th. January 19th, 2013. There's a video of undercover coppers in the North Stand at Celtic. And it's only had 1,900 views. That's the ironic thing about it. But the Green Brigade walking out of Celtic Park had 52,000 views. The Green Brigade being filmed walking to the game. A small group of Green Brigades escorted by police just walking up the road, and then police filming them across the road. And I'm filming the police, filming the fans. That's only 2 videos. I mean, I'm going to open these videos and I'm going to post them in the community chat, in the community tab later on. January 19th, 2013, Celtic versus Hearts. The Green Brigade show off another great banner. The group, there's a group of people acting strange, not like fans. You've got to remember, I wasn't really doing YouTube at any level. The Green Brigade showing off a fantastic banner. It was there was a digger that was knocking down the stadium, but then I noticed some figures watching what was going on, and I proceeded to go into the back of the stadium. And I'll post this video up, and I covertly tried to video these undercover group of people. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then a high-ranking police officer with his cap on. And I could see these guys, and I knew they were the fans, and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? So I went and followed them into the back of the stadium to see what the fuck they were up to. This was surveillance and stuff going on inside Celtic Park. Celtic know exactly who's in the stadium, and if they don't know who's in the stadium, it's unbelievable. So make sure you go to the community tab. And then there's the big one when the Green Brigade walked out the game. Some members of the 111 Green Brigade section being filmed walking to the game. And there's me filming. I'm standing right behind the copper, filming the fans 12 years ago. And I think for Lennon to make it out that it was all about him, and you know, the shame game, he has to think about the repercussions. And the repercussions of what happened then. What's this one Celtic fan view? I've not heard of it. Any good? What's what, Lanky? I'll post the videos. I mean, these are videos that are on this channel, posted 12 years ago. The Green Brigade walking out on the 16th of February 12 years ago, that got 52,000 views. The one the next week, I called the video January 19th, 2013. I wasn't really YouTube savvy at that time. You're talking 12 years ago, when there was not a lot of Celtic channels doing Celtic videos. And then I do the next video, the Green Brigade one, and then, yeah, it's just ones from the back of the section. And then there's the one that had 133,000 views, where I walked right through the Rangers fans that walked up London Road. Anywho, as they say, just keep those tabs open so that I can upload those videos. And let's get on with some Celtic news, shouldn't we? Celtic has been set. Do you know what, as well? I've got to get this one off my chest, because there's a lot of headlines out there, and there's a lot of exclusives. Brendan Rodgers is still on holiday. As far as we are aware, I don't think he's been at Celtic Park. He has no need to be at Celtic Park. I think the majority of the Celtic players are still on holiday, or if not, thinking about returning from holiday this week. But Football Insider has a fucking exclusive, a Celtic exclusive. RP Leipzig are well placed to sign Nico Kuhn. Anyway, he's claiming that as an exclusive, and he posted it at 2 o'clock this afternoon, saying it was an exclusive. Funny, I've done a video at 10 o'clock this morning, 9 o'clock this morning. Anyway, he's then saying, he's going on to saying that a Swedish player that's coming in is coming in to take Kuhn's place, and that's why we're selling Kuhn. Some nonsense headlines. And then there's another one. This is another Brendan Rodgers Marco Tilio plan. I'm not going to name the site, and I just think that it's we don't know what Brendan Rodgers' plan is for Marco Tilio, because Marco Tilio hasn't been at the club for 2 years. Brendan Rodgers hasn't seen Marco Tilio for 2 years, and it's the same. Marco Tilio will come under the exact same as the other 5 players that have been out on loan at Celtic. The 5 first team players that will come back to pre-season training, players that Brendan Rodgers had hoped to offload at some point during the transfer window, and unless it happens, these 6 players will return. So for a media site to be saying that the Australian spent the second half of last season on loan at Melbourne City, well, he's spent the last 2 years, is it not? At Melbourne City. But anyway, they're saying that the 23-year-old is expected to report back to Lennoxtown, correct, for pre-season training, correct, and he has the opportunity to impress Brendan Rodgers, correct, and then it goes on to say that Brendan Rodgers is going to have a close look at him in the up-and-coming games against Como, Sporting and Newcastle, reports Mark Hendry. Even though the current talks are still ongoing with Melbourne City, for Melbourne City to take the player back, to take the player on a full-time contract. Never mind, but it's one of those nights. You can tell it's a slow news day, and it's crazy. But even Kyogo Furuhashi drops his Rennes future hint after a Celtic nightmare. Post-Celtic nightmare, Kyogo Furuhashi says he wants to fight for his place at Rennes. Good. Leave him there. Who cares? None of us really care. Let's be honest. He went away. He wanted away. There was an overwhelming vote from the Celtic fans on this channel last night, where 64% or something said not a chance. Keep him there. He wanted away. Didn't want to be at Celtic. So let him go. Let him go. I'm just reading. Do you know what? Forget it, Buzz. Just forget it. Anyway, let's jump into the comment section and see what you're saying tonight. Greg Taylor now linked with Copenhagen. Yeah, that's 2 days old, Lanky. He was linked with Copenhagen over the weekend. Arabida's a better striker than Kyogo. I'm just going to jump through these comments. Brendan said they would have a break for 2 weeks, then should be back in the next few days. Of course they will. They'll all have a break for a couple of weeks. Don't know. It doesn't mean to say. He said a couple of weeks. That couple of weeks will be the couple of weeks that he went to Spain. Maybe he didn't go to Spain. Maybe he went up the Highlands. Don't know. Big Day says, could do, John. I've done that in the past. I appreciate the work Baz has done to create the community. Privileged to be a part of it. I'm just trying to catch up. Not a lot of Celtic news today. More Rangers news today. Who cares? There's a lot of Celtic stuff getting put out, but it is all just a regurgitation. And rather than giving, like I did at the beginning of the video, I mean, Cy Tierney was a player that never kind of reached the heights that he maybe hoped of his days at Celtic. And you got to remember, I've got a lot of respect for Cy actually, because he started Open Goal quite years ago. The Open Goal podcast, he started that back in 2017, before it was fanciful to have a podcast, you could say. And he's just worked away at it, and he doesn't make a shitload of money off it. I think he maybe makes, I don't know if he gets any sponsored deals, but he makes about five grand a month, which isn't to be laughed at for a wee part-time gig. But you know, I've got a lot of respect for him, and the fact that he did that interview with Neil Lennon. I said as soon as he got the Dunfermline job, I was like, that's an interview that I need to try and get home and do, because of this the channel, and the first video that was put up was the day that Neil Lennon was made manager, and we Si beat me to it. He needs to shave that tash off, though, Si. It's just weird. It's just, I don't know if he's trying to be like a 70s porn star. It's creepy. I just think it's creepy. To anyone that's got a moustache out there, whatever, but moustaches are creepy. There's the poll. Can I beat tuna? I'll put that as a poll. Square Sausage Mix back. I think it might be a start a Celtic fan crockery pod, mostly based on sausage recipes. I bet you didn't. It's an 80s point tash. It is, isn't it? It's one of those back in the 90s, if your mate had a tash or like that, it was like, remember when you used to shave your mate's eyebrows? You ever got pissed on a Sunday and kind of got to like 5 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, and if there's one person that's zombied on the sofa, KO'd on the sofa, that was the one that got their eyebrows tashed. They get the old Bic razor and fuck your eyebrow off. Happened to me once. Moustache is always creepy on women. But then again, you should avoid hun women. The young ones all have moustaches and mullets these days. Why? I don't know. Don't get me started on the younger one. It's a friggin' American moustache. James Brown 2002. Stephen Johnston. Hey everyone, smash the thumbs up please. Thank you. Stephen Johnston's a star. Where you been all my life, mate? Yes, Stephen Johnston's a star. Here's a little drink of just juice. Anyway, Brendan Rodgers. We've done that one. The fake Nico Kuhn exclusive. I don't know how anybody could put out, and they always that Peter O'Rourke always puts out exclusives, and it's always about 3 hours after like everyone else has put out anything. But he puts it out on his website as an exclusive. It's one of the worst websites ever, anyway. Kyogo saying that he's happy to stay at Rennes. Good, we've done that one. Brendan Rodgers, according to Celtic Share, said that he snapped as he gives the truth behind the story behind the Ali McCloy clash. And when you hear Brendan Rodgers, when you hear Neil Lennon talking about it, and the fact that he's the one that lost it, Neil Lennon needs to apologise to the Celtic fans. I've got a lot of respect for the day that Neil Lennon come and planted the league trophy right in front of us in 1-1-1, and I've got to admit it had a lot of us in tears that day. And when he placed the league trophy right in front of the corner, the emotion was unreal that day. And it's a what a memory to have. That's all I'm going to say. There's another one talking about a Celtic defender. Talks of Mark Rocky. Big Rocky is looking to return to his homeland. Well, we kind of knew that one. He was brought in to fill the void by Carl Starfelt, but he's never made it. As the same as Lagerbielke. I don't know how Celtic blogs having to go, Lagerbielke's got his chance to talk his way back into Celtic. Oh, fucking nonsense. Yeah, let's get on to the Cameron Carter-Vickers one, because that's what the video is about. Celtic are alleged speculation that Cameron Carter-Vickers has been identified as a priority for West Ham, Leeds, and is it Sunderland? I'm not too sure. The Celtic board are believed to be bemused by an imminent bidding war for Cameron Carter-Vickers after moving from Spurs. His advisors declined to comment when approached by Sports Record. Of course they're not going to comment. He's fucking happy at the club. Do you know what I mean? He's got a lengthy contract. Fucking nonsense. Celtic will not sell. And right, let's do a poll about it. There's we go. There's the poll. There you go, there's your poll tonight. Most hated Rangers player, mine would be Ian Ferguson. Mine is Durant, but then you're not allowed to sing his gays bent his arse is up for rent. Oops, I just did. Do you think, there's a poll question, do you think that Celtic will take up offers for Cameron Carter-Vickers? Early running is saying 54% yes, 47 no, it's just changing, it's changing all the time. 55% yes, 45% no. If we were to take up, I don't know why I'm shouting. Messages have gone, I can't hear the fucking telly. Personally, I don't think that we will entertain offers for Cameron Carter-Vickers, and I think I covered that enough this morning on the reason why. He is the best defender. Every Celtic player has a price, unfortunately, says Jamie Brown. Tommy55 says yes. Make sure you get your votes in on this one. Depends on the offer. Everybody has their price. Yeah, everybody has their price, but what does it then cost? Say we sell, for instance, just off the top of my head, say we sell Cameron Carter-Vickers for 20 million. Where do we go out and buy an established defender that can fill the void by Cameron Carter-Vickers? Cameron Carter-Vickers, I read one comment earlier and it said that Cameron Carter-Vickers does a lot of covering for the mistakes that Austin Trusty makes. Cameron Carter-Vickers covers for the mistakes that Liam Scales makes. So his value to the club is double those two players put together. And Celtic saying not for sale just to push the price up. No, I don't think it is. I mean, who do you then bring in? And can we identify a good enough player to come in and play a Celtic back line? I would hope we don't, but it's our business model to sell as a big profit. I personally think that Cameron Carter-Vickers is one of the players that Brendan Rodgers will have sat down with Paul Tisdale and said must not sell at any cost. If we want to build to go into European football, you want to have players at the back that it would be a step backwards if we were to have a major reshuffle of the back line. Kieran Tierney coming in, not as much of a big risk, but when you look at pairing someone up with Austin Trusty or Liam Scales, they've got to be better than both those players put together. Why not bring in someone of that kind of quality to then partner Cameron Carter-Vickers so that you've got a formidable defence? And I think that that's the way that Celtic are thinking about it. Celtic will be thinking about it. Cameron Carter-Vickers levels up here. Liam Scales levels down here. Trusty's somewhere in the middle. We want to bring in a defender that's up here, the same as Cameron Carter-Vickers. And that's not going to come cheap, is it? It's not going to come cheap at all. Cameron Carter-Vickers is weak in the air. They cover each other's skills. And Trusty, I just missed that. To be out of position, every player has to cover. CZV works both ways. We brought in a young 16-year-old Ayer. Look what happened, and he done for us. Yeah, but Christopher Ayer was in and around the team for a few years before he really. We don't have anybody at the moment that's tried and tested, is it? Unfortunate for the young lad that got injured last season. I mean, he could be the future of the club. He could be the future back line. Lanky says it's a defo 4-2-3-1 formation next season. Lanky, you sure of that? So we're going to have two holding midfield players. We're going to have Callum McGregor and someone else. and then 3 in front of them. So you're then playing a second striker in front of the first striker. Or are you playing an attacking midfield player behind the number 1 striker? Or are you playing Dyson Maeda through the middle behind Adam Ida, which allows them to make runs? It's an interesting formation change. We'll wait and see if it comes to fruition. Like Boy says, keep the winning team together. Can't keep selling players the minute we get a good offer. Yes, CCV's consistency has been key to our recent success. Yeah, and he was one of the only players. Think back to the Scottish Cup final. He was one of the only players that really got pass marks that day. He was the one player that was wanting to fight on the pitch. Do you know he got booked for wanting to fight with Aberdeen players? There's not many players that did that day. That's Kieran Tierney stuff. Do you know that's Scott Brown material? That's Kieran Tierney kind of stuff. That's the kind of players that you want. That's the kind of guy that you want behind you. A big guy that's going to go, do you know what? If you go through him again, I'm going to go through you, and it's going to be 10 times worse, big man. Do you know what I mean? That's the type of guy that you want. That kind of guy in Cameron Carter-Vickers, and I think we should keep him. I don't think we will sell him anyway. It's all media talk. Glasgow's Green and White saying that CCV has been linked with the move away about every transfer window. Yeah, he has. He has. To be fair, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Alistair Johnston, Hatate and Maeda have stayed. They've got the 3 and 4th title medals between them. Yeah, they have. We need cover for CCV, Baz. Just saying that for a long time. Yeah, we do need cover for him, and that's, I think, Dane Murray. I think Dane Murray coming through the ranks at Celtic will be the cover for him. Lanky says 4-2-3-1 gives us more strength and depth, which we've missed in recent games. Yeah, it does. So who do you think will go in the middle besides Callum McGregor? Because you're obviously going to have Callum McGregor. Will Paulo Bernardo be brought into that holding midfield role? Will that give Paulo more game time? Is Paulo better further forward, as he showed with Portugal? He's better further forward. Arne Engels is better further forward. It takes the reliance. If we're bringing in wingers, you're still going to be playing with 2 wingers, so it gives you sort of 2 holding midfielders and then a Rio Hatate type midfielder in between the 2 wingers, and then a striker up front. It's an interesting one. CCV's not for sale. Chris Ayer, partner for CCV, never happened. Square Sausage Mix goes for a 1-2-2-5 formation. I favour the 5 strikers. Sell CCV and buy Gerard Butler. I'm Sparta 300. John Shirley, you're mad. Hold. Jesus. Midfield, in my opinion, would be Callum Engels as the holding midfields. Do you think Rio and Dyson Maeda will still be here next season? That's a big ask. It's a big ask, considering for the last 2 summers Rio Hatate has asked for a move to a Big 5 league. Trusted needs to toughen up if to be played more. Ian Royce says every player will move if they can. More money. KT Jota, for example. You have to realise that pro football players, Celtic is not the be all and end all. Ian Roy, I'm with you on that, but when you look at the career that Cameron Carter-Vickers has had, and sometimes a player that's been passed from pillar to post as many times as he has knows when he's in a good place, and knows when he's in no rush to move anywhere. Because let's face it, when you're getting loaned out to one team every single season, you can get disheartened and moving, and he's quite settled. I'll say it with the chest. Rio and Maeda will still be here. Interesting. even though that Rio Hatate only has 2 years left on his contract. Are Celtic going to run down that contract and not take the cash for him? To me, it says that Celtic haven't went out and been able to find a better player than Rio Hatate, which could come back to bite us on the bum. The same as allowing an 8 million potential one-time valuation of Greg Taylor allowed to leave the club for free. The Huns need several holding companies. Domestically, 424, though, really. Is it a 424? I don't think so. Anyway, right, I'm only staying on for half an hour this evening. Do you think that Celtic will take up offers for Cameron Carter-Vickers? We're going to end it on 111 votes, because we like a bit of 111 on this channel. So what I will do also is I'll get these videos. So the first one that you can go and watch right now is this one, and then the next one is did I put that one? That's that one. Green Brigade, I'll do this one. Put the three of them up. I know, copy. When the Green Brigade, I got pelters for this video for not putting out the audio at the time. I didn't feel it was my place to put out the audio of what that's not even copied that. I didn't feel it was my place at the time to put out the audio of what was said. And then that one, and then the Green Brigade filmed going to the game. And then that one. So there you go. I will stick the A3 videos for up on the community tab. And on that note, Dan Cassie says, well, boys and girls, you must believe that we couldn't is going nowhere. And same with Dysland. Baz say, I'll speak to you later. Yep, with that note, Danny Cassie. And big shout out to Stephen Johnston. Get in there, mate. I think we'll get to 22 by Flag Day. That's all I'm saying. We'll probably get to that before pre-season starts, hopefully. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are.